Welcome back, life groups. I love it that we're all meeting together. And the only thing I don't like about this is when I'm in my own life group, I have to watch myself. And so I'll just say, hey, Jarvis, good to see you in life group tonight. But I just want to say it's so good to be together. And I love it that we can meet on Sunday mornings together, but we can meet here in circles together. And we're starting this new series called Take Ground. And it's not just a new series, it's kind of like our what we're going to say this year. It's kind of, I just believe God wants us to take ground spiritually in this community, in our families, what the enemy is trying to steal and kill, that God wants to restore back. And so we're going to work through this in this series and just kind of add it a little sprinkle through the year too, in what we say. I'm actually diving into the book of Joshua in this series. And I think it's amazing. The baton was passed from Moses to Joshua. And not only that, you look all the way back to Abraham, how God spoke to him about being a father of nations. And then now God promises the promised land, and these Israelites were slaves. And you have this. But I love the relationship that Joshua has with Moses. I think it's amazing. He was being prepared for the moment in Joshua chapter 1 for years. I want to read this to you. It says this: it took God 60 years to prepare Joshua. 60 years. Think about for leadership, 60 years for Joshua to be the guy to take the next Israelites. Joshua spent 20 years in Egypt as a slave, then 40 years in the wilderness, and then once he got to the promised land, he spent 50 years there. Now think about that. He was being built up. And then we get this baton pass where Moses dies, and all of a sudden the baton is passed to Joshua. And Joshua gets this call. Joshua chapter 1, I would encourage you to read it. The first part is a calling upon Joshua from God. And then the second part is a calling upon the nation. But the verse I want us to look at today is this verse, Joshua 1:9. And I think this verse is for all of us. I want to speak to you. It says this: have I not commanded you? God is saying this to Joshua. I think he's saying to you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Don't be scared. And do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you may go. What a promise. Here's a promise. I will be with you, and my promises are true. What I promised Moses, it's still true. I promise to you, I will be strong and courageous. The words I said before are still true. Step out. Claim what's yours. Live in victory. Yeah, there's enemies out there, but step out into it. God promised it to Moses, and he promised it to Joshua, and he promises it to you. His promise is to you. It's an old promise for a new leader. Old promise for a new leader. This is what I encourage for you. Be strong and courageous. Step out into the best that God has for you. Cross over to the other side. Fight your battles. So as we dive into this discussion time, I want us to reread that verse together and go over the questions together pertaining to that verse. That calling is upon you.